Hi, in this video we're going to take a look at adjusting some settings so our newly uploaded website will actually work. As it stands, if you go visit our subdomain URL now, you'll get an error something like what I've got on the screen there. In other words, nothing's talking to anything. The website's not working. Now, the reason for this is it's set up to work in our development environment, not on a new server. So there's two things we have to make some adjustments to in order to make it all work properly. And we'll start with our WP config file. So if we just click on our file manager, and we navigate through to where our Elementor site is, so that'd be public HTML, into the Elementor folder. Now, if we come down here, we're going to find a file called wp-config.php. So the first thing we're going to do before we do anything to a config file is we're going to make a backup copy of it, just in case we do something drastically wrong. Okay, so to do that, we'll just select the file so it's highlighted, and we'll click on copy up here. And we will just give this file a different name. So we want it in the same folder. We'll just go / and we'll go wp-config. So we know what file it is, .php, and then we'll just put in another dot and put in old in capital letters, just so we know it's a copy of the original file. Okay, copy file. As you can see, that's showing up there now in the list. And it's the same file size as our WP config, so fairly safe to bet it's made a copy of it. Okay, so now we'll go to our WP config file. We'll select it again. And we'll click on edit this time. It'll go, are you sure about that? And we'll go, yes, we want to edit it. We've made our backup now, so we're feeling a bit safer. Now in here, we're going to change the connection information for the database, because if you remember, we actually made a new database for this website and then uploaded the data to it. And we haven't told the WordPress installation yet that that's what's happened. So we're going to do that now. So if you come down, it'll be around line 23. You'll see there's some define options. So there's define database name, define database user, define database password. So we've got to change these to reflect our new database. So the database name, if you remember, is, in my case, Williams_Elementor. And that's also the same for my username. So I'll just copy and paste that in where root is on the next one. And then the password that I gave that user account. Okay, and we'll save those changes and close that editor. Right, so that's our WP config file done. Now there's one other thing we've got to change or adjust, and that's in our database itself. So we'll close the file manager and we'll go back to our main control panel. And then we're going to click on, under databases, the PHP My Admin. We'll open that up. Then we'll go to our database, which is Williams Elementor. We'll click on it. Now, we've got a list of tables here, and the table we want to look at is called WP_options. So we'll just click on that table to open it up. As you can see, it's got a whole bunch of different settings. The two settings we're interested in editing are site URL and home. As you can see, they're still pointing to our pretty URLs that we had in our development environment. Obviously, if the WordPress tries to point to them, it's not going to find anything. So we'll start by editing the site URL. So we'll just click on the edit option. And we'll just change this address to our new subdomain, which is Elementor. In my case, okay, and we'll just click on Go to make that change. As you can see now, that value's been changed. And we will do the same for the home option name. So we'll click on Edit on it and change that to our subdomain URL. Click on Go to make the change. So now we've changed both those values. Okay. And now if we click back on our web page and refresh, there we have it. Our web page is now live. And once again, oh, I was still signed in. And of course, like we did before, if we want to go into our admin area, go /WP admin. And we can use our admin details to log in. So if you remember correctly, we made a pretty weak password for this while we were developing. So a good idea would be to go into our users now, or our profile. So go to users and go to your profile, and we'll change that password so it's something a little more secure. So we'll click on there on generate. And we will create a new password for ourselves. Okay, so now we can just double check that by just logging out again. Logging back in with our new password. Hopefully, lets us back in. Bar a few finishing things, we have migrated our website. It's now live for the world to see.